Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a good day, a good week, good weekend. All right, in this video, this is going to be more about talking about why I left the US and moved to Spain, because I have received a lot of questions from many people, Americans and Spanish people, wanting to know why I left the US and why did I decide to come to Spain. It's a little complex, okay? Well, maybe not, but there are many reasons, okay? Now, you may agree with me, you may not agree with me, that's okay. I'm just giving you my honest opinion and just giving you my experience because that's all I have to go on. So I've always wanted to live in Europe since, I was a teenager. It was something that I just always wanted to do, but I never thought that it would be possible. You know, when you're at work and you're really bored and you decide, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to live on an island somewhere, but you never do. It's just a dream, and this was my dream. But originally I wanted to move to France, and I didn't think it would be possible, but I was thinking about, how Europe was, things I saw on TV, and, thinking about the situation in the United States. So for me, I don't want to bash the United States. I mean, it is my country, it's where I'm from, but it just wasn't for me. For one, the social issues. Like racism. There's racism everywhere. There's racism in every country. But there are degrees of racism. It's, if someone calls you a racist word, right? It's different than someone trying to kill you because of your race. I mean, in the US, there are certain areas where I'm afraid to enter because of my skin color. So this was one thing that made me consider moving elsewhere. People talk about the American dream, but my dream was to live in Europe. That was my dream. Another reason that I decided to leave was because of the healthcare system. I mean, in my opinion, it's horrible. There are people that can't afford, medical and die and, all these things. And I would think about countries like Canada, and people would say, oh, well, it's expensive. You put your tax dollars in, things like that. I mean, yeah, you pay taxes on it, but it's like you have access to it, any moment, any time, you know what I mean? And in the United States, it's just private healthcare insurance. And if you don't have a job or a decent job that offers good medical insurance, I mean, you're pretty much screwed. Other things was because the workload, okay? I had a really decent job. I was making good money, but I was working so much. There was no balance. There was no time to enjoy, my life. And there's always this debate that money can bring happiness and all that stuff. In my opinion, it cannot. I think money can bring comfort, but I don't think it can bring happiness. I mean, we see so many celebrities and rich people hurt themselves or kill themselves and say that they're not happy. And living here, I don't make nearly as much money as I did when I was in the United States, but I'm a lot more happier, and I have this work-life balance that I've always wanted. So to me, money cannot buy happiness, because if it did, I would still be in the United States. Now, the reason why I didn't go to France was because it was more expensive. And another reason why I chose Spain was because, I mentioned this in other videos, because my grandmother was Spanish, and me and her were very close. I would go see her whenever I had teenage drama or any sort of drama in my life. Her house was a refuge for me. She helped raise me, she cared for me, she loved me. So yeah, I wanted to see her country. I wanted to learn, more. And Spain is a lot cheaper than France, a lot cheaper. So that was another reason. I liked how, you know, close the people were. You know, our culture in the United States, we are more cold. You know, when we see strangers, when we meet them, we don't usually hug and give 2 kisses on the cheek. We do a handshake. You know what I mean? It's like these types of things I really liked. Also, violence. Yeah, you will find violence everywhere in the world, but we just have to be real. There is a lot of violence in the United States. In Spain, you don't have to worry about school shootings and, you know, go in your house because there are people outside with guns shooting each other. I remember when I was in school and we went outside to play for recess and there were people shooting, you know what I mean? Shooting each other, and we're children in the middle of this playground. And I remember other times where we went on a field trip to a park and someone had a gun in the park and we just slowly left the park. These types of things you don't worry about in Spain. So that was another reason why I decided to leave, was because of, you know, general safety. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, you are a foreigner and you want to go to the United States and, you know, you're listening to me and think it's this horrible country. This is only my opinion and how it affects me. Maybe the United States is perfect for you. Maybe it's a country that you know, you really connect with. And I think that certain countries do connect with our personalities. But for me, I feel more of a connection with Spain than I ever did in the United States. So some people have asked me, do I plan on going back? I mean, to go back and visit, but to live, probably not. I want to tell you about when I finally decided to come to Spain. So I was contemplating on this for about a year, okay? While I was doing this, I was slowly saving money. I saved about maybe $7,000 or $8,000. And I was telling my friends and my coworkers what I wanted to do. You know, people thought, oh, you're crazy. You know, you're gonna go to another country on your own, you know, and you don't even speak the language. And I said, well, you know, I'll learn. But I was scared. I will be 100% real with you. I was afraid because you know how there's a stereotype that Spanish people are incredibly racist and all these things. And I was thinking, oh my God, you know, if I go to Spain, they're not gonna like me. They're gonna, like, you know, treat me horrible. But I kept thinking about my grandmother, and even though I didn't know any other Spanish people, I decided to go. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So I quit my job, I had my money saved. The hardest part was telling my family about it. I remember when I told my mom, she was like, you know, you could feel the tension, that quiet, like, space when she's thinking. But she came around. She came around, and, you know, she's just happy that I'm happy. And that's how it should be. But I understand her concern because, yeah, her son is moving to another country across the world. So, yeah, and mom's worried. So I couldn't really get angry about that. I completely understood when she was voicing her concerns. But I have to say, you know, when I did come here, it was nothing like people who actually never been to Spain have told me. I didn't encounter a bunch of racism. I didn't encounter, it was totally the opposite. But I was very lost. I didn't know anything. I tried to find YouTube videos to help me. You know, there were some things that helped me, but there were a lot of things that did not help me, which is why I decided to make this channel. So if anyone is following the same path as me, they will have information. So that's why I try to be as transparent as possible and just share all this information with you guys. All right, so that is it. That is why I came to Spain. That is why I left the United States. I hope I've answered this question. And if you have any more questions, as usual, please feel free to leave them in the comment box, and I will talk to you in my next video. Hasta luego. Ciao.